Right, still to come this morning, Corrie's Andy Wyman tells me about the jungle advice that Jenny McAlpine gave him and what he got up to after the final last night. First though, my next guest has been stepping into Freddie Mercury's shoes fronting Queen for the past 8 years. I didn't realise that, but as well as all of that, Adam Lambert is back with new solo music. Well, Adam has just released a cover of Cher's hit Believe. He joins me now. It's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Look at you looking gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Always.
So, loads going on.
Yeah.
So much going on. You released this EP, which I think is a great thing to do, because I remember them from when I was a kid. And it was like a little present. It's like a little joyful package that you open up.
There's a lot of joy on there, yeah.
Yeah, very much so. I'm loving this direction that you're in.
Thank you.
It's good.
Thank you.
Where did all that come from?
I sat and I thought for a while before I put this thing out, before I started writing, and
Sure.
I thought, I want to do something a little different than what I've done in the past. I want to do something sort of back to a pure love for music.
Right.
I wanted to hear more instruments. I wanted a little more soul in my music.
Right.
And so I started writing with people with a lot of references, stuff that I heard growing up with my family, you know, vinyl. And went kind of back to the classics a bit for inspiration. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. So there's going to be an album next year. We've got a little sneaky preview.
Yes, this is side A.
Right,
yes.
okay.
So we'll do side B in like the late winter.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know where you find the time though, because obviously
Neither do I.
a huge part, I know a huge big part of your life is what you do with Queen.
Yeah.
And that has become, I mean, I remember at the start, you know, you were kind of like, I'm not sure about this, I'm not sure.
Right.
But it's just works, doesn't it?
It is like the gift that keeps on giving.
It's amazing.
You know, and I think with the film being so popular,
Of course.
there's like a new interest. You know, we have people in the audience that are younger now. We have full families. And here in the UK, we always were doing very well. We were doing well all over the world, but it's through the ceiling now. It's crazy.
It's amazing. I mean, that movie was fantastic. You were in that movie.
For like a half a second.
No, but it was a magical half a second.
It was really fun being on set that day, just being a little part of it. It was a thrill. And meeting Rami.
You were heavily disguised.
Heavily disguised, yes. My trucker look, yes.
You pull it off very well.
Yes, yes.
Say, if you ever wanted to go in that direction. And there he is. There he is. It's going to be a
Rami.
Bond villain.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard.
really good. I mean, the reports that are coming out is that he's absolutely nailed it.
He's so talented.
He's great.
Yeah, and a class act too.
Absolutely.
Just very, very. What a gentleman, you know.
Do you have this thing though still when you're either on stage or you and the guys are all planning what you're going to do? Mm-hmm. Is there that thing of what would Freddie think?
You know, it's not really in like.
Or do you want to make sure it's.
It's not something that we talk about like actively, but I always think about it in the back of my head.
Okay.
You know, I try to keep within the spirit that the songs were intended to be performed.
Yeah.
And also when it comes to getting dressed. I always think, what would Freddie think of this? Would he enjoy this look? Is this weird enough and wild enough for him?
That's the great thing. You cannot be too weird.
Yeah, and he had such a sense of humor about his fashion. It was not too serious. It was all meant to, you know, make the audience chuckle a little bit. And I always think about that. There needs to be a sense of fun.
For sure, but what's brilliant about these songs are, you know, and what I loved about the movie, it reminded me of albums like, you know, Sheer Heart Attack, and I went back and downloaded them all again to have them, was how that music now is as relevant today as it was back then.
It's timeless. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I think that's one of their great things as a band is that they were able to write music that would stand the test of time.
Sure.
And that reached everybody. They're very universal songs. You know, they're about the human experience. Love and loss and longing. Like, these are things that we all understand.
And those fantastic anthems as well, which you got to sing at the opening of the Oscars.
Yeah.
Now that must have been, whilst amazing, a tiny little bit terrifying as well.
Yeah, I was sort of in denial as we were leading up to the performance. I was like, just don't think about it, don't think about it. And I got out of there and I didn't really look at the audience.
Yeah.
I would have been starstruck. You know,
can you imagine?
I mean, my favorite actors and actresses out there, you know. So at the very end, I started looking around and getting a kick out of it when the hard part was over.
Exactly. And the guys from Queen must be like family almost.
They
now.
are.
You spend so much time together.
They really are. I mean, we travel together, we dine together. You know, we've been on the road for 8 years. Well, working together for 8 years. Our first big tour was 2014.
Sure.
So it has become a family.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
they don't have to be this way with me. If they wanted to dictate exactly what I did and where I went, I would probably be like, yes, sirs, anything you want. But what I love and I'm very flattered by is that they've really taken me into their family, and we collaborate on things, and we share ideas with how these shows look. It's really a team effort, and I'm really flattered that they take my thoughts on board. They do have veto power. Of course
they do. Of course they do.
Yes.
But that's the best thing when it's collaborative like that.
Yeah.
You made Cher cry. You made Cher cry.
I almost said I should apologize. That makeup was so pretty.
No, but in a good way.
Yeah,
really good way. Because, this was you singing Believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was her big hit from the 90s, her big comeback hit. And this was the Kennedy Center Honors, and I heard that Cher was being honored, and I said, hey, I have an idea. I want to do Believe as a ballad and make it emotional. Because really, even though it's a dance song, when you look at the lyrics, the lyrics are really touching and really deep. So that's what we did. We had strings and we made it dramatic.
It really worked, Adam, though. It really did. See, that takes a wee musical genius to see that brilliant song, which will go crazy at a disco. That you made that so different and so moving. I mean, you saw Cher there, and I mean, she's a tough lady.
She's amazing.
She's brilliant,
but she is made of Teflon, I think.
I know.
Point. I mean, she looks incredible. I didn't think she would be able to cry at this point.
Indeed.
Her face is stunning. But yeah, it was a big honor that night.
No,
it's really special.
It's really good. You've worked your butt off. It's amazing. Everybody says, "Oh, isn't he lucky?" Yeah, the harder you work, the luckier you become. Advice for MD. I mean, there's this little show that's over here. It's not a little show; it's a big show. The X Factor one, where they're getting a band together. Advice. What do you think?
Well, I mean, obviously, talent needs to come first. You've got to have somebody that captures people's hearts and minds and ears. But a lot of that has to do with the it thing, the X Factor, so to speak.
Sure.
It's beyond talent. It's a thing. It's a spark. And then on top of that, I think in order to make it in this business, you have to have a really strong backbone.
Yeah.
You have to have the right work ethic. You have to have the right attitude. You have to be humble. And you have to know that it's a team effort. And you have to surround yourself with great people. If you don't have all of those elements, it's probably not going to work.
No, that's true. And like you've just got to work. You have
to keep working. Yes, keep hustling.
Well, you do it so beautifully. And long may you continue. Adam, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So much. It's always a joy.
Yes.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Still to come. 19 years on.